All right. Our guest is in. I know Nigerians, even outside Lagos, have been waiting. He's in. Yes, businesses in Nigeria over the years battle with challenges associated with the banking sector, which varies from lack of access to services, unaffordability, and poor users' experience, which contributes to frustration of customers' experience. This is why many businesses are keen to digital transactions, creating openings for fintech to address pain points in affordable payments, quick loans, and flexible savings investments, as well as aid productivity. A case study of a place like Nigeria, where growing youthful population, increasing smartphone penetration, and focused regulatory drive to increase financial inclusion and cashless payments to create a perfect recipe for thriving fintech sector. Nigeria is now home to over 200 fintech standalone companies and plus a number of fintech solutions offered by banks, mobile network operators as part of their products portfolio, with about 40% of Nigerian 200 million population still financially excluded. This creates opportunity for the fintech industry with significant opportunities across the consumer spectrum. Similarly, post-COVID-19 era has shown that the traditional savings accounts have proven to be ineffective and underwhelmingly in achieving financial goals. With inflation figures on rise, digital savvy population are fast delving into new innovations, which is considered the new normal. With much that has been said, let's now have a professional insight on potentials of fintech and business and finance development in Nigeria, and to expand financial inclusion across the country. Joining me live in the studio is someone who has seen it all in the banking sector. He was a former commissioner of finance in Lagos State between 2011 and 2013, executive director at First Bank between 2013 and 2016. He also served on different boards, including Airtel, FBN Capital, just to mention a few. I have the former managing director of Polaris Bank Limited, Mr. Tokunbo Abiru. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
How
are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm very well. And I know the traffic and everything, so it's understandable. We've been waiting for you, and I'm sure Nigerians have also been waiting for you. What can you say about your high points, your achievement as a banker over 3 decades?
Well, you know, I paraded a work life of over 32 years, right? Out of which 29 years there I've been spent in banking. And so I probably will say that I have reasonably seen it all. Now, what do I mean by that? I happen to be in the league of the early young guys that joined Guaranty Trust Bank when it started. And I'm proud to say, as at that time, you know, that I'm talking 1991, Guaranty Trust Bank started in 1990. So by 1991, it was just a one-branch bank. You can imagine. We were all situated in a location called Plaza, that's number 6, Adeyemo Alakija. You know, so I'm proud to say I was part of that group that formed the early part of the brand of Guaranty Trust Bank that we are all proud to see today. Now speaking to exactly to my high points of achievements, right? I have had the privilege of, I would say I have the privilege of working for that kind of brand, which is Guaranty Trust, after which I spent another 15 years. I think I spent about 10 years in Guaranty Trust and another 15 or 16 years thereabout in First Bank, the oldest bank in Nigeria, established in 1894. So you can see the kind of brand, the kind of environment that I've actually nurtured as a banker. And I'm happy that you also mentioned it. I functioned up to the highest level in First Bank, to executive director level, after which I also had the privilege of turning around Sky Bank that has been transforming to Polaris Bank today. Now, talking about my high point of achievement, I would like to pin it down to my achievement and to the success story of the turnaround of Sky Bank, which was a sinking bank. Because the job that I led, I actually led the turnaround of a bank that was sinking. So, and that is what is referred to as the regulator-induced intervention to save Sky Bank. As at that time, for those of us who are quite familiar with the issues then, you know, Sky Bank had declining prudential ratios, meaning that all the ratios that forms the bedrock of a bank were almost going negative. Number one, the capital was negative, staff morale was dampened, and even the bank was making losses. So that was the bank we inherited in July 2016. So if you ask me for my achievement, I would say that, you know, I am happy to have led the turnaround of a major systemically important bank, as it were then. That's the old Sky Bank, you know, to save the bank from collapse, save the jobs of over 8,000 staff, whose livelihood will have been dampened, save over 4 million customers that the bank had at that time, and who had in excess of a trillion naira in deposits. So you can imagine the impact of that on the economy. So my high point will have been, would be the successful turnaround of Sky Bank to a stable bank, which is now Polaris today, and which has also brought a lot of hope to all the staff, which has boosted their morale, which has also saved a lot of savers in the system. And I'm happy to say that we didn't just stop at that. As at the time we came in July 2016, even the state of the technology of the bank had, worsened. It was declining, but today we have been able to revitalize it, refresh it, and today, the customers are enjoying a combination of improved IT platform and a digitally enabled bank that also parades and competes very favorably in the evolution of today's banking. So those are the high points that I will pin down as my achievement in banking.
Really very, very interesting. But your resignation of the bank, CEO, that top level, and foray into politics, many say it was so sudden, and they're now feeling the insinuation in some quarters that, how well are you prepared for politics? They are saying that, are you sure? I didn't even put that you're a politician now. Now, how well are you really prepared for politics in Lagos State?
Okay, you can see that I've moved away from the normal suit.
I was expecting you to.
Which I'm very comfortable in. But you see, again, let me tell you that it wasn't actually a resignation. It was a retirement. And it was a well-planned retirement. And I'll take you back again. I said earlier, I'd put in about 32 years of work life, of which during that work life, I also had the privilege of being Commissioner for Finance under Babatunde Raji Fashola during his tenure, right? And again, let me also put it on record that, you see, the arrangement was for a 4-year, typical. But after 2 years, I went back to banking. It's very uncommon. People would rather see put. Very uncommon. But you see, I had to go back. I chose to go back on my volition because I was focused on my career. I needed to get to the top of my career before I come back to public space. It gave me an insight into public space, no doubt about it. But I felt that, look, you are best when you are seen to have accomplished in one arena before you now veer into another arena. So, and again, as you know, the corporate leadership or corporate leadership is also age-bound. So if you don't do it at the right time, you probably will never have the chance to do it again. But in terms of public leadership, you can always come back. It is almost a lifelong affair. So that underscores why I had to step down after 2 years. It was a good experience, no doubt, and I had a fantastic working relationship. However, now, speaking to my retirement, which I call retirement, when I came in to rescue Sky Bank, my mandate was clear. It was stabilize the bank, improve on the ratios and all of that. Okay. That was the mandate given. Okay. By the end of December 2019, the mandate had been achieved. We had stabilized the bank. We had also turned the curve from loss-making into profit. We made a profit of in excess of about 27 billion in 2019, which also competed very favorably in the League of Banks in Nigeria. We ranked among the 23 or thereabout banks in the country, despite where we're coming from. We climbed up to the 12th or 11th position, which was given where we're coming from. Now, as we came into 2020, despite the pandemic, I can also tell you that our trajectory in terms of performance too was also fantastic. Now, as I came into 2020, I was also clear. I had to be very practical with myself. I took stock, realized that I had done what I was meant to do. The mandate of the CBN had been delivered. Now, I haven't delivered on the mandate. The next thing is to now ask yourself, what next? So part of the reflection was, look, put in 29 years in banking, 32 years of work life. I went to public schools and all of that, and I've benefited largely from the public, that is Lagos State. And I'm a passionate Lagosian. I just felt that my time in the private sector was up. It was time to retire, and particularly at a time when I also think that I should allow younger people to come in. You've mentioned about Fintech and all of that. This is the age of younger people. If I didn't choose to leave, how will the younger guys come up? So for me, coming into politics wasn't accidental. I'd had a taste of it in 2011 to 2012. I'd also gone back to my area of competence, my core competence. With all sense of modesty, I have accomplished there. And I just think it's about time to also give back. And so all the lessons, all the skills, the competencies that one had acquired, it's about time that you bring it to public space to also bring it to use. And I was thinking, I'm sure you also said something about whether I'm new in politics. I'm not sure I'm particularly new.
Your footprint, a little bit of it. Let's know about it.
No, so I can tell you. Number one, I'm a grassroots guy. I grew up in real Lagos, the suburbs that you call real Lagos. I grew up in Surulere. You understand? So I know all the nooks and crannies of Surulere. Thereafter, we moved to Bagada, which is part of Shomolu, Bariga local government. So I know all the local areas around that area, Bawala, Ibimpeju. Those are the areas where we played football and all of that. I went to Baptist Academy. You understand? When I left, when I left government college, I went to Baptist Academy, which is in Obanikoro, a part of Shomolu as well. So you can see, I am part and parcel of the grassroots. Then importantly too, I also come from a political family. That's what people don't know. My late dad was a judge, but before he became a judge, he was the senator that represented Ikorodu division under Jakonde and as a disciple of Awolowo. So I'm from a progressive political family. So when I hear things like whether I'm new, I cannot be new. When I moved around, I see my former colleagues of my dad, those who are junior, and I've had very good words of encouragement and support from all of them.
Sounds good. Now, talking about the people of Lagos East now, which you intend to, what do you want to do differently? And also your wealth of experience, what will be the impact on legislation when you get to the National Assembly? It's a two-in-one question.
Exactly. So for me, I think what is very key, number one is that I will bring about quality representation. And that, will speak from the pedigree that I parade. I have functioned as an economist by training. I read economics. I'm a qualified accountant, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Accountants. I've functioned as a banker, and I have also functioned at the top end of banking. I was a former commissioner for finance in Lagos State. Now, if you put all of that together, it speaks to the fact that the people of the Lagos East Senatorial District are assured of quality representation. One. Two, I'm also coming with the energy and commitment of having just completed an assignment wherein I have been tested and entrusted with human and material resources. That's speaking to Skybank and transition to Polaris. And I have delivered. So you have a man that is a committed guy. That is speaking to my pedigree. So it's that energy that I'll bring now, and it will also, put me in the right place in also being able to make major contributions to national discourse. That's one. Then secondly is that the fact that I have also had the privilege of being, of being reposed with the confidence of the party. Over 111,000 people, ratified my endorsement as the candidate. So to those people, I'm saying to them, their welfare will be paramount. You understand? I will not disappoint them. I will be loyal to the party. That is speaking to that. Now, in terms of also speaking to the electorate, those within that belt, let them also be assured. Given my experience, I've also been, taking part. I participated in a lot of, philanthropic ideas, particularly during the COVID-19 lockdown. When I didn't even know I was going to veer into this. So for somebody that could do that, without looking for anything into it, just so you can imagine when you now entrust me with your power, of course, you will also be paramount in my agenda.
Indeed, I read through it, and you know, 80 billion naira bond during your time. You got the award of currency bond award for 2012.
Yeah.
I said a lot of positives.
Yeah.
Positive. Tell us more what you need to know as we round up this interview. What you want Nigerians to know more about you.
So basically, what I also want to reassure is that, look, one, I'm a passionate Lagosian. You understand, I'm an accomplished individual. So you're not just bringing to the play a novice or a brand new guy without experience. So I parade all of that. So those are part of what I'm bringing. Then I am also aware of what development is all about. I've moved around, and I've had, you know, part of what I'm also bringing to the table is my career-wide network. For somebody like me who has journeyed for over 32 years, you can imagine the kind of connections I will have built all of this. One of such, let me share it with you. The current Minister for Works was my principal when I was Commissioner for Finance. You know, I have started conversation around the infrastructure to bring about the belt that I'm going to represent. The current governor of Lagos State was my colleague in banking 20 years back. We have maintained that relationship. You understand? Wow. Now, the current deputy governor in Lagos State was Commissioner for Works when I was Commissioner for Finance. You see, all those networks, those are part of what will aid my influencing and facilitation of major policies that can be implemented to bring dividends of democracy to people. And I'll give you an example. I have had direct conversation with the governor on the roads leading to Ekwe. You know, and he has assured me he's going, that will start. That is from Ibejuleki to Ekwe. Now, if you go to Ikorodu, the Sekumade road that leads to the port, we have had conversation. They have moved to site. So those are the kind of those are the kind of influence, facilitation that people like my own personality will bring into governance.
Indeed, it's really sounding interesting, but that's what time can take now. Yeah. I must thank you very much, former Managing Director of Polaris Bank, Mr. Tokunbo Abiru. A lot has been said about you. I don't want to go over it again, but we should have a part 2 of this interview so that we can talk more.
Thank you so much.